economic state that protects the environment and protects all the other interests at the same time. So I would encourage the State Planning Commission to finalize a plan that is a frame and a guidework on how we're going to move forward in the future, but to not dictate where we can and can't do.
Thank you.
Richard, and then
Richard Blackwell from Woodbridge. I'm approaching this more from an emotional standpoint. I don't believe that we have anything if we don't have our freedom. There's already a plan in effect for our state. It's called the Constitution. We have lots of people who aren't following the Constitution. Our legislatures and the bureaucrats appointed by the legislators have lost sight of the fact that their job is to protect our freedom and our property. That's what your job is.
That's right.
It's not to come up with plans and ideas and to create jobs and to feed people and provide health care and all these other things. We're supposed to protect our property and protect our freedom. And what the other gentleman pointed out, you can have all the plans you want. There's always unintended consequences. And the plans in the next administration will change them anyway. All right? So it's all going to get used as a method of control. And we don't want to be controlled. We're tired of being controlled. My wife and I are being taxed out of our home. It's pure and simple. There's no doubt about it. I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth. I'm getting taxed out of my business. Okay? I raised my prices. I'm going to places where I'm charging $25 to these restaurants and bodegas and places. And I'm going in there and they don't have $25 in their registered payment. Okay? That's how screwed up everything is. And that's because you people are taxing us out of our homes. There's too many people with state jobs. There's too many people with municipal jobs. And we cannot, that is what is not sustainable. Okay?
followed by Lorraine.
Lorraine Aaron?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I know. Kate is first, and then Lorraine. Yes.
I'm Kate Millsap from the New Jersey chapter of the Sierra Club, and we have major concerns that the straight strategic plan will hurt our environment and the taxpayer, because it's not about substance or science. It's about taking care of special interests and land speculators. There was no carrying capacity analysis or scientific basis for the state strategic plan, so we will be paying for sewer lines in areas where there's no treatment capacity at the local wastewater treatment plant. And this plan is being used to justify any project anywhere in the state with the priority investment criteria that's been announced. There's no transparency or standards, so it's subject to politics and influence. And as I said before, our tax dollars will be paying for some politically connected developer to get a sewer line, and we'll be stuck with the flooding and the increased tax bills to fund it. This project is going to be used to justify subsidies for poorly designed projects like Xanadu and NCAP. And under this plan, the priority growth areas include areas in need of redevelopment as determined by the towns. So the towns will say what needs to be redeveloped, opening up lands to eminent domain abuse, like what happened in Long Branch and other areas in the state. The Sierra Club is vehemently opposed to the Kelo decision. It does not want to see our taxpayer dollars going to those types of eminent domain abuses. I think there's one thing that everyone in this room agrees on, that there needs to be 21 hearings in each that the State Planning Commission can achieve the one thing that everybody agrees on with the 21 hearings.
Thank you.
Catherine is up after Lorraine.
Okay. My name is Valerie Rogers. I filled out the card for my friend. She's not here. Does anyone have a problem with me speaking in her absence?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
First off, I'd like to know what the OPA is that's under the Assistant Urban Center evolved into component of healthy metropolitan areas. What the heck is that?
This is your public comment portion.
Okay, well, I'd like to know what that
too.
is, first off. Second off, it seems that many people in this room who agree on what's going on with the state plan are people that either A, work for the government or have a vested interest in what they
vote on it.
Yeah.
That would at least let the public have a say who's not here in the room. Secondly, I thought, like, being in this country was all about the American dream. How could the American dream be shoving me into a hub where I have to buy food in a store that may not have the things that I eat, or work in a job that doesn't pay me what I want? The American dream is all about striving to be your best, not to have the government tell you what your limitations are. I don't like what's going on in the state of New Jersey. I don't like what's going on in the school systems. I don't like that the government is telling us what they want us to do. They work for us, as these gentlemen over here said. And I think there has to be a stop to this now, before it gets so out of control. Do you live in a home? Do you live in a home? Do you live in a home? The other gentleman, do you live in a home? That woman in the back, do you live in a home? You want to be shoved in a hub? You want to live in a 2x4 box? Do you want to live like that?
No.
Do you want to have unclean water and no heat? Do you want to live like in a communist country? Because I sure as hell don't. And I know a lot of people in New Jersey don't either. We need to stand up for our rights. They're all we have. Don't let them take them away from us.
No. Catherine, and then Enos Beagle. Catherine, Vajtae.
That would be me.
I didn't want to attempt it.
Okay, what one of the gentlemen said, brevity of this plan, therein lies the danger. The verbiage, as many have mentioned, is flowery. It is nirvana-like. It's going to make your dreams come true. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. However, we need to...
Do you want to give her the microphone?
I'm sorry?
Did you give her a microphone?
I have never been told.
Give her her whole 5 minutes.
It's some part, I guess, not Okay, how's that? Okay, so we need to look at what these words mean. Sustainable sounds lovely. However, if you look at the Kyoto agreement, the treaty that was basically voted, it failed to pass in the Senate 99-1 in 98. So now it's like being passed in a different way. And the verbiage, they knew it was going to be fought against and not acceptable as Local Agenda 21 Sustainable Development. So, according to this J. Gary Lawrence, that's on this piece of paper that you all might have here, he says we have to call our process something else, such as comprehensive planning, growth management, or smart growth, because the affluent middle class, involving high meat consumption, large amounts of frozen and convenience foods, fossil fuel usage, appliances, home, workplace air conditioning, this is not sustainable. What's not sustainable? It means that it's not the same all over the world. There are countries who don't have this. That's because those countries are not free. The primary freedom, the guarantee of freedom, is our right to own property, whether that's the fruit of our labor, our paycheck, whether that is a home, whether that is a stable with horses, that is your right to have that property. And that guarantees freedom. Once the government, any level of government, federal, state, town, whatever, starts taking that away, your freedom is gone. And if you look at all these sort of definitions, somebody said there weren't any definitions, they're vague. But when you have all these various areas that they want to develop, alternate growth areas, a corridor, So are we going to be corralled into these hubs? There's one way out. Now, there is a map out there on the internet. I don't know if anyone has seen it. It is the death map of Agenda 21. These areas are not connected. So this corridor is your egress and ingress into your hub. And just to mention something about, and who is the government to determine how land is going to be used? It's our land. It's our property. And the gentleman, I just want to expand and give you a real example of what he said when he saw these huge tenements. I'm from Hungary. We came here when I was little. I'm not going to say how many years ago. And this family back home, I was stunned when I went back home and visited family that they, at one time, consider communism, Russian control. They lived in a government house in their little apartment. They don't have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. They have 3 rooms, 2 rooms, 4 rooms. Wow. Those were constructed so the plumbing was not adequate for toilet paper to go down. Imagine that. There was a truck that came by every week for your poopy toilet paper collection. Is that what we want here?
No.
Okay. I'm done.
Ennis Bengal,
Yeah,
and then after Ennis, Joe Rollo, R-U-L-O. He's up after this gentleman next.
I feel like Phil Donahue. Thank you. My concern is not addressed here. A lot of the concerns that I agree with, including property rights, as well as not letting the developers run roughshod over us, like it happened in Long Branch. But one of my major concerns that hasn't been addressed is that we're facing a big event in the near future of New Jersey as well as the world. It's the climate change issue. The poles are melting, so we're going to have a lot of water. We're already having a lot of water. So now you're letting all these developments to take charge in New Jersey, and you're going to build everywhere with no restriction, and it's going to end up that these places are all going to be flooded. And right now what's happening in North Jersey is all those houses that are being flooded are being bought by the states. The state is paying taxpayers money to buy those houses from those people. We're going to end up having to pay with our taxpayers money for all these developments that's going to be built in these flood zones, new flood zones, and we're going to end up being more bankrupt as a result of all this unfettered, uncontrolled development. I'm concerned that this plan is going to allow all kinds of new things to come up where you really need to take care of the new realities of the new era that we're in. That the plan needs to take. Other states like Washington, for example, and New York State are asking their insurance firms to evaluate what's going to happen with respect to the new environment. And here, our governor is totally oblivious to this. He's opening the whole state up for development. He's letting all the big developers to take charge, and basically it's going to end up hurting the state much more than it will help, all this unchecked development. Thank you.
Joe's up next, and then from C-O-T-T or C-O-H. Frank. All right, Frank, sorry about that.
One thing that I'm kind of confused about is if the plan is a state plan and it consists of 33 counties.
Use the mic. Use the mic.
With the state plan, you have 21 counties, you have several towns within those counties, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, so I'm all over the state. And anybody that knows about this, a lot of people are frustrated. And the thing that worries me a little bit is that there may be good parts of this plan and there may be bad parts of this plan. But with 6 meetings, it's not enough. And it's coming across as a closed process. And I know that Governor Christie absolutely wouldn't want a meeting like this to come across as being closed or like anything being hidden. There's a lot of people during the day that can't make it here, and at 7 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, it's good for a whole sector of people, but what about people who work at night? They can't come during the day, or business owners. And I'll be honest with you, I've been here, I think this is my 3rd meeting, and I know that you don't set it up so it's a treasure hunt, but I will tell you, it was absolutely wild in this place. And I will tell you that if I wasn't the patriot that I was, it probably would have turned around and left, because this place is a madhouse. It's a beautiful campus. So was the other Stockton. But, you know, you have people that are challenged, people that are seniors, and this is big boy stuff. This is a state plan. This isn't something that's small. And there's only 6 meetings. And I'll tell you that there's a lot of people in this state that are just asking for something simple. More meetings. And I believe that Governor Christie, being the open person and being as transparent as he is, and I consider him a friend, would absolutely concur if there was a way that that message could be brought to him. I think that this is going to sabotage this state plan. It's that serious. And it shouldn't be the issue of this whole entire thing. But my main concern, in addition to that, is in New Jersey, you have a business person like the gentleman over there who's frustrated, and in the map of the state, we have to make sure that in addition to these pods, that we have room for manufacturing, and that Agenda 21 isn't going to condition and push out manufacturing, which is going to bring in jobs, which is going to make the real estate sector better in the state. Closing with that, I would just ask that they consider opening up during the day. I know at nighttime, which is fair, a lot of people work during the day, but there's a lot of seniors. And the other thing that I'm shocked at is Ocean County. I mean, why would they not do Ocean County? Why wouldn't they open up to Ocean County? To me, I'm utterly confused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank, go next. Followed by David Tuccio.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Frank. I'm with the. I just want to mention a couple of groups here because you got to realize, folks, that you guys are divided and you guys can be conquered. You're not hooked up. You're just people. We're the ones that it says in the Constitution, all inherent power is available to us, and we don't really have that now. So there's a couple of Tea Party groups I want to mention. There's mine, Monmouth County Tea Party group. There's Jackson over here. There's Ocean County Citizens for Freedom. There's New Jersey Shore. There's Bay Shore. I think Middlesex just left. You know, if you want, hook up to somebody over here and come to a meeting. And maybe these things won't be happening. Because the problem is, this has been happening 30, 40 years. You know, the Federal Department of Education in '79 with Carter, what are they doing? Killing us? Things are worse. The state's going to get involved. Listen, the towns and the states can't even handle a dog shelter. I was in Jersey City, they killed 80 of them. I couldn't even get to a grand jury because of Barry Albert. We got some problems. You guys need to know about these things. You have no rights. You don't have property rights. You pay property taxes and rent. Come on. They're going to do what they want to you come election time, like we tried, we busted our humps, and they're still going to get in. Because how many people are here watching TV and not coming out? I like the environment. I was an environmentalist. I was a feminist in college. So I'm not just to the right. I've been all over it. But I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a patriot. I love everybody here. And I want everything clean. But there's smart ways to do it. I've seen the government do it with their head in their... I've seen it. They don't have it. They're going to set up a chromium manufacturing somewhere where there's no trains and it's going to cause more damage, probably have a runoff. They're going to put, a bunch of condos somewhere where the road's going near, there's going to be traffic. Are you tired of sitting in lights? Are you tired? Well, here's another thing they can plan. You go down Route 35 and 36 and you catch every stinking red light. That's 20% more gas my car's using. Focus on that. Let the grass grow on the ramps to the parkway. I'm serious. That creates a lot of oxygen. Photosynthesis. I'm an electrical engineer, a little bit of a scientist, a little bit of all of that. They don't do that. They just want to control. It's the bonding. There's a lot of money with bonding, like the guy said over here from the Middlesex Tea Party group. When the rooster comes to call, you got to pay. And you're going to lose your house unless you want to pay double, triple. They're not doing things right. Nothing against anybody here. Maybe there's mandates on them. We don't know. We definitely need, though, I'll tell you this, a lot more meetings. Definitely. If somehow I could get to the governor and we can work together, maybe with the groups, do some emails, phone calls, that's what we got to do. Because there's just too many unknowns here. Thank you.
David, and then K-I-N. King. David, sorry.
Hi, my name's Dave, and I'm a citizen property owner. I don't know a whole lot about the plan, but anything that the government does, you have to question it. They want to create these sites, where people can live and stuff like that. What is it going to do to pre-existing property owners? What would be the outcome down the road to somebody owning a farm, large lot, or anything like that? What is the outcome down the road for more or less pre-existing? That's what I'd like to know, or how will that play out in the future? But anything the government does, you got to question it. Let the free market handle it. I have a friend who works in Jersey City. He lived in Woodbridge. He had a nice commute. It wasn't a bad commute to Jersey City. Then he wanted to sell. He wanted to live in Jackson. He has a nice house in Jackson and stuff. I wouldn't do it myself, but that's his prerogative, what he wants to do with his property, And that's what I think it's going to be coming down to, We own a property, and we have the right to do what we want. It's our own property. We don't need somebody mandating how my property is going to be used up to a point, And some of this plan looks like it'll drown out people with large properties down the road. It looks like they have a scheme here to eliminate people with large properties and stuff like that in open space. People that own open land. They got a way of, I'm sure there's something in there where they'll be able to confiscate it. There's a lot to look at here. And like the guy over here says, we need more meetings, and it has to be more open, maybe publicized in a paper and stuff like that. Okay.
After taking the next gentleman, Andrew Danielle.
Keith Penn from Clifton, New Jersey. I got a couple things. One is last night at the meeting in Morristown, the mayor here, I'm sorry, was very disingenuous because he said he never heard of Agenda 21. And from talking to folks here...
Until December.
No, you said it last night. I have you on tape. I listened to you. You said it last night was the first time you heard of Agenda 21. So I got to tell you that really taints my whole opinion of you and these meetings. I want to know those stakeholders, which I do have an Oprah in my bag, which I will hand to you before we leave, on all these meetings and all of those transcripts, because there were 15 of those meetings, stakeholders. What about the property owners? What about us taxpayers?
Yeah.
Why didn't we get 15 meetings? We got 6. It's just unbelievable. document, but I'll read you the first paragraph, and maybe you'll know what it is. And it says, all persons are by nature free and independent, and have certain natural and unalienable rights, among which those are enjoying the defending of life, liberty, and acquiring and possessing and protecting property. You guys,
Amen.
It's like in the pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness. It's the New Jersey State Constitution. Maybe you should tell the governor to read it, because I got to tell you something. He's nothing more than a bully, and it really annoys me that this is another example of him and his bulliness, is that he just pushes us around. He gave the stakeholders 15 meetings and give us 6. What happened to our rights? I got to tell you one thing. 2 years from now, it's time for a change. We're going to be having to be looking for another government. Because this is not another. You know, long-term funding sources. I was born and raised in the ghettos of Newark. And I got to tell you something. You go down there, and you look at these pods, they're still there. Most of them they knocked down. They were called the projects. And they didn't work. If you go to Chicago, the Roger Taylor homes in Chicago, 70 acres of a mess. Okay? And you're going to tell me you got all these groups, and they just ignore the heck out of me. And all you guys come here, you read the same thing over at every meeting. Can't you get creative? It really annoys the heck out of me. And I got to tell you that this is nothing more, and the terminology's here, it's nothing more than Agenda 21. Go get it and read it, folks. It's there. It's Agenda 21. And I'll be damned if the United Nations is going to dictate to me over my dead body and my... called the Planning Act, because our forefathers did great without it. We don't need it then. We don't need it now. Thank you.
Andrew, Danielle?
I'll take a mic. Thank you. Thank you. My name's Andrew Daniele. I live in Farmingdale, lifelong tax-paying resident of New Jersey. I have a question because, like a few people have said, it's very, very difficult for us working folk to get to a 6 o'clock meeting. So I don't know if this was covered. I got here as quickly as I could. It would have taken me even longer if I had to ride my bicycle here. But once these meetings are over, how is this determined if it's passed or not?
The SPC votes on it.
Who?
The State Planning Commission.
Okay. So my question then is...
This is the time for comments, Andy.
Well, my comment in the form of a question is, if every one of us disagreed, what difference would it make? Is this representation? I don't think so.
Right.
In other words, if we had 1,000 people at each meeting, and we would if more people knew about what was going on, and every person disagreed, what would it matter? Is this not just a charade?
We need a public vote.
Public vote. This is not representation. That's
All
my...
legislators tell them to repeal the law.
My second question, which will not be answered, is where did this plan come from and who wrote it? Does anyone know?
You win. Stakeholders.
Stakeholders.
Not our legislators, not people we voted, I would assume.
Right.
Okay. Well, then my real comment is there's a meeting in 2 days in Bordentown in another obscure, hard-to-find place. I suggest that you call all your friends, all your family, everyone who has property and wants to keep it, to bring more people there. Maybe we can get more press, and maybe we can make a difference, because obviously our elected officials aren't representing us. And this really is a joke. You know, we're giving up our time, we're giving up our hard-earned gas money to get here, and